To anyone who's going through depression right now, I just want to start this video off by saying that you are not alone. I know what it feels like to be depressed. I know how isolating it can feel when nobody truly understands you. If you're surrounded by people that have never experienced depression and you don't know who to turn to, this is the video for you. I want to help each and every one of you who is dealing with this overcome those internal obstacles, because that's what depression truly is. Depression is a void. It's a lack. There is something within you that is missing. And maybe you're trying to fill that void with superficial or surface level things. A lot of people think that money can cure depression. A lot of people think that success can cure depression. A lot of people think that relationships can cure depression. And I'm here to tell you that I've been there, done that, and none of that stuff cures your depression. Your ability to cure your depression is not contingent on anything outside of you. It is solely on you to make that decision for yourself to, first off, embrace where you are right now and understand that it will get better. I know what it's like. I've been there. I've been to rock bottom, to the point of not wanting to be alive at all. And it's a scary place to be, but it's a little less scary when you have some type of guidance. And that's what I want to provide to you guys with this video. Now, I need you guys to understand that it is okay to not be okay. When I say that you should embrace your depression, that doesn't mean that you should identify it, but it means that you should accept it for what it is. Be aware of it. Be aware that there is this void within you that you need to fill through self-love, through self-care, understanding yourself, listening to yourself, being present with yourself, and prioritizing yourself. You have to learn to let go of whatever baggage may be holding you back from progressing in life and growing. Because when you stop growing, when you stagnate, a lot of times that can lead to depression in its own right. Because that lost progress, that growth that you're missing out on, that in itself creates another void when you know that you're capable of more than what you're doing in your life. A lot of times when we're depressed, it's because we feel like we're failures. We feel like we're not doing enough. There's something missing. But you are the thing that's missing. You're missing more of yourself. There's parts of yourself that you still need to uncover, that you still need to introduce yourself to. And I know it sounds strange. It sounds like I have split personality disorder or something like that, but I promise you, this is all true. You have to learn to embrace yourself, and part of that is embracing the way that you feel right now. Tell yourself right now, I feel depressed. When you say I feel depressed, what you're doing is you're acknowledging how you feel. You're giving yourself the space to be open with yourself without judgment. Just unconditional acceptance and awareness. But at the same time, you're not identifying with your depression. You're not saying I am depressed. You're saying I feel depressed. Feelings are temporary unless you hold on to them. So when you learn to fully embrace the way that you feel, then you can start moving in the other direction. You can have some reference as to where you need to go, because you know that where you are right now is not where you want to stay. So you can start moving in other directions. Now, one of the most beneficial directions that you can go in from this point is to seek help. Now, I understand that not everyone has friends or family members or just people in their lives that can truly understand them and guide them back towards themselves. But there are people out there who have dedicated their lives to doing just that, to helping other people find themselves and to find those greater parts of themselves that they feel like they're missing. One of the biggest regrets that I have, and I don't use the word regret very often, but one of the biggest things that I really wish I would have done when I was at my lowest point in life was to seek professional help, was to put my pride to the side and say, hey, I need help. I'm not okay. I need some type of guidance from people who are trained to do this, who are trained to help people like myself. But unfortunately, I didn't have the presence of mind at the time to do that. I was too shameful. I was ashamed of how I felt. I identified with my depression. And I wanted to take the easy way out, which I'll get into in a second, but that's not the way. That is not the way to solve your problems. The best way to solve these problems is to put those problems in the hands of people who are well equipped to solve them. And that brings me to today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Now, if you're watching this video, the chances are that you feel depressed in some capacity. And like I said earlier, I understand where you're coming from. It can feel like you have nowhere to turn to, no one to comfort you in those times. But that's where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp will assess your needs and assign you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating within 48 hours of signing up. It's not a crisis line, it's not self-help, it's professional counseling done securely online. It's all confidential. Everything that you say to these therapists is between you and them. And that's the beautiful thing, because not everyone has the courage to put themselves out there for the world to see, and that's okay. That's why there's people like this here to listen to you, to remind you that you are valuable, that you are worthy. There's a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 15,000 plus counselor network, a lot of which may not be locally available in many areas. Now, I know I have a very big international audience. This service is worldwide. It's available to anybody who has access to the internet, which if you're watching this video, you clearly do. You can log into your account at any time of the day and send a message to your counselor. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. And on top of that, you get to schedule a weekly phone or video call. And you won't have to wait in an uncomfortable waiting room as you would in traditional therapy settings. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it free and easy to change counselors if necessary. And not only that, but it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. Once again, no excuses. Invest in yourself. Invest in your mental health and well-being, because if you don't have that, you don't have anything in life. You won't have peace, you won't have fulfillment, and you sure as hell won't have happiness. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. So go to BetterHelp, that's betterhelp.com/Jordan Green, and join the over 1 million people who are taking charge of their mental health by seeking professional counsel. Now, even though this video is sponsored, I don't want you guys to get anything confused. That right there is very important. Seeking professional help. That's something that I really wish I would have done, because maybe if I had done that, I wouldn't have found myself on the brink of ending my own life at 19 years old. That's something that, it's very difficult to even think about at this point in my life. That I was that low, that I was that down bad, that I felt like death was better than life. And I don't even know what's on the other side of death. But I figured no matter what's on the other side, it can't be worse than the life that I'm living. I don't want you guys to get to that point. Suicide is not the answer. And I know it sounds cliche, they have all of these assemblies at school and everything like that. I used to laugh when they would have those assemblies, when they would tell you to put in an anonymous tip if you know anybody who's depressed. Those things are funny until you're actually that person. It's all fun and games until you're that person that needs help and you have no one else to turn to. That's true emptiness. That's emptiness. That is a place that I wouldn't wish on anybody. Truly feeling alone, feeling isolated within your own mind because you've abandoned yourself. You want to talk about feeling alone. When you abandon yourself, that's something that I'm still learning to forgive myself for getting to that point, for letting myself get to that point. But for me, the only way to make up for that is not only to make sure that I stay on top of my game, but also to help as many other people avoid making that same mistake that I made. Self-love is the best love. You have to learn to love yourself, and that starts with embracing your depression. Or not even your depression, but the depression that you feel right now. Embracing all of your feelings, because when you're at the bottom, that gives meaning to those times when you're at the top. You can't have joy without pain. You can't have pleasure without sadness. You need one for the other to exist because everything is relative. So you have to learn to love yourself thoroughly, unconditionally, even when you feel bad, especially when you feel bad. When you feel like you're at your lowest, that is your best opportunity. That is your golden opportunity to love yourself truly. The times when you're taking care of yourself and everything's going good in your life, it's easy to love yourself then. But do you love yourself when nothing is going right? When everything is falling apart in your life? When you get your heart broken? When you're broke? When your health isn't where it should be? Do you still love yourself then? That's the true test of your love. And when you know that you have that void within you, you have that empty feeling, that right there is going to determine how strong your relationship will be with yourself. Because if you can fill that void with your own self-love by simply embracing the fact that you feel that way, then you'll fill that void. You'll be good. And it won't happen overnight, but over time, as you habitually love yourself, that void will be filled with something that can't be taken away from you because it comes from within. And once you find yourself, that's when your purpose finds you. And now you can get to that next level. Now it's not even just about repairing or filling that void. It's about letting your cup runneth over. And then you can put yourself in a position to help other people who are going through the same thing. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. Had I never went through depression, I can't make this video. I wouldn't be able to make a video like this because I wouldn't be able to empathize with the people who are going through it. But in me making this video, this allows me to not only help other people, but to see how far I've come. I saw a quote from my boy Rami. Shout out to Care for Rami. It was a quote that said, "One day, you'll give somebody advice that you once needed, and you'll realize that you no longer need that advice. And that's how you'll know that you've grown." And to me, that feeling is so gratifying of growing, personal growth, and inspiring other people to dig themselves out of that hole and to fill their own cup with self-love. That's such a gratifying feeling to me that I've committed to making that my life, making that my career. This is what I do now. And I want all of you to be in that position as well. I'm not saying that you have to be a YouTuber making a video about depression and getting a sponsorship from BetterHelp, but you can put yourself in a position where you can help other people who need help, who need the help that you once needed. And hopefully with this video, I can help initiate that process in your life.